Picture this. It's 2 a.m. in the ER, the air thick with the sharp tang of antiseptic and the low hum of monitors. The fluorescent lights buzz faintly, casting stark shadows on the tiled floor. You're a nurse, bone-tired but wired, moving through the chaos of a Friday night shift. Drunks yelling, kids crying, monitors beeping. You've seen it all. Broken bones, heart attacks, lives saved, lives lost. But sometimes in the quiet moments between the chaos, something else slips through. Something that doesn't belong. Something that makes your skin crawl and your heart race even years later. Welcome to 5 creepy ER nurse stories where the line between life and death blurs and the shadows in the hospital hold secrets no chart can explain. I'm your storyteller, pulling you into the heart of the ER where the stakes are life and death and sometimes something else entirely. These aren't ghost stories, they're real accounts from nurses who've stared into the abyss and come back changed. So grab a coffee, dim the lights, and settle in. But fair warning, once you hear these, you might not sleep the same. Have you ever felt a chill in a room for no reason? Or heard a sound that made your heart skip? That's what these stories are, moments that cling to you, like the smell of iodine on a nurse's scrubs. I've rewritten these tales to pull you into the ER, to make you feel the pulse of fear, the weight of loss, and the questions that linger long after the shift ends. Each story is a journey, and I'm asking you to walk it with me. Will you dare to listen? Hit that subscribe button because trust me, you'll want more. Let's dive in. The ER is a battlefield, a place where hope and despair collide in a symphony of chaos. My name's Sarah Mitchell, and for 25 years I've been a charge nurse at St. Mary's Hospital. I've held hands through last breaths, stitched wounds that bled rivers, and called time of death more times than I can count. But nothing prepares you for the moment when the dead speak. It was a crisp October night, the kind where the wind howls like it's got a grudge. The ER was a madhouse, bar fights spilling in, a kid with a broken arm, a heart attack case teetering on the edge. I was in my groove, barking orders, checking charts, keeping the residents from screwing up. Just another night, right? Until the radio crackled at 11:15 p.m. Ambulance inbound, male, late 20s, motorcycle crash, no helmet, high speed, ETA 5 minutes. We prepped Trauma Room 2 like a well-oiled machine. The gurney crashed through the doors, wheels screeching, paramedics shouting vitals. Jake Turner, 28, T-boned a guardrail at 80 miles an hour. The kid was a wreck. Road rash flayed his right side to the bone. Chest caved in like a crushed can. Blood pooled under the stretcher, slicking the floor. His ribs were shattered, lung collapsed, heart bruised. We fought like hell. Intubation, chest tubes, epi, paddles. The monitor screamed a flat line. I glanced at the clock. 11:42 p.m. We kept going, sweat stinging my eyes, but Jake was slipping. At 11:58 p.m., the attending called it. Time of death. The room went still, save for the hiss of the ventilator shutting off. Jake's face was frozen, mouth slack, eyes half open, staring at nothing. I've seen that look 1,000 times. Death's signature. I zipped the body bag myself, the sound of the zipper louder than it should have been. My hands shook, not from fear, but from the weight of another life lost. We left him there, giving him a moment's dignity before the morgue team came. I stepped out to grab the paperwork, telling a rookie nurse, Emily, to watch the room. She nodded, pale but steady. I was halfway down the hall when it started, a scream raw and ragged tearing through the ER like a blade. Not a cry, not a moan, but a scream, the kind that rips your soul out. It came from trauma room 2. Emily's eyes went wide, her clipboard clattering to the floor. A tech froze mid-step, his coffee cup trembling. "What the hell was that?" he whispered. I didn't think. I ran back, heart pounding, and flung the door open. The lights blazed steady, no flickering, no horror movie cliches. Jake's body lay there, bag half-zipped, mouth still open, chest still. No pulse, cold as stone. But that scream, it lingered like an echo trapped in the walls. Emily stammered, It came from him. I checked everything. Monitors off, no alarms, no reflexes. Dead, deader than dead. Have you ever heard something you couldn't explain? A sound that made your blood run cold? That's what this was. We stood there, 3 of us, staring at Jake's body, waiting for... What? Another scream? A sign? Nothing came. Just silence, heavy and wrong. Later, we pulled the hallway footage. Nothing entered or left that room, not a soul. I logged it as best I could. Unexplained auditory event in trauma room 2 post-mortem. No vital signs. Witnessed by multiple staff. I couldn't write screaming corpse, not in a hospital record. Emily found me in the break room later, her eyes red. "Sarah," she whispered, "what if he wasn't ready to go?" What Calameo document his heart didn't know it was gone? I didn't answer. I couldn't. We don't talk about it much, not out loud. But trauma room 2? It stayed empty for weeks. Not because we're superstitious, we're nurses, we live by science. But no one wanted to be alone in there, not after that. Sometimes late at night, when the ER quiets down, I pass that room. The door's always cracked, the light dim. I think of Jake, his speed, his crash, that frozen face, that scream. And I wonder, what lingers when the heart stops? What fear clings to the soul, screaming to be heard? Have you ever lost someone and felt them near just for a moment? That's what this was, a moment that won't let go. I don't have answers, but I know this. Some things don't die easy. Some things scream to be remembered, and every time I zip a bag, I listen just in case. The ER is a place of miracles and heartbreak, where every second counts and every choice haunts you. I'm Rachel Carter, a nurse with 18 years under my belt at Mercy General. I've seen bodies defy the odds and others slip away despite every trick in the book. But one night, one heart taught me that even in death, the body can fight to stay. It was a humid July evening, the kind that makes your scrubs cling to your skin. The ER was steady, flu cases, a fractured ankle, a guy with chest pain. I was charting when the call came. Male, early 30s, collapsed at home. Suspected stroke. ETA 3 minutes. We prepped fast, clearing trauma room 1. The ambulance roared in and they wheeled in Ethan Brooks, 32, eyes wide but unseeing, limbs limp. His buddy found him on the kitchen floor, still breathing but gone. The CT scan was a death sentence. Massive hemorrhagic stroke, brain herniation, no hope. Neurology confirmed it. No brainstem activity, no reflexes, no response. Ethan was brain dead, legally gone. His family arrived. His wife Lisa and his mom, both shattered but strong. They held his hand, whispering memories, and chose organ donation. "It's what he'd want," Lisa said, voice breaking. "He was always giving." I stayed longer than I needed. Something about Ethan's stillness got to me, not peaceful, but paused, like he was waiting. We prepped him for the transplant team, his heart still beating on its own, warm under my touch. It's eerie, you know? A body alive but empty. Have you ever seen someone you love slip away, yet their body lingers? That's what this was. Hours later, a transplant nurse, Mia, found me, her face pale as ash. "Rachel, you need to hear this." She led me to the surgical floor, her voice low. We couldn't start. His heart, it reacted. My stomach dropped. I followed her to the OR, where the surgeon, Dr. Patel, stood scribbling notes, his hands unsteady. He's a rock, that guy, seen it all. But not this. They'd opened Ethan's chest, everything set for the harvest. The moment Dr. Patel's gloved hand grazed the heart, just a touch, it surged. Not a flutter, not a reflex, but a pounding, like a fighter throwing punches from the grave. No brain signals, no drugs, no reason. The room froze. A tech swore the EKG spiked, but no leads were connected. They were prepping for removal, not revival. It was like it knew, Dr. Patel said later, staring at the floor, like it wasn't done. They waited 10 minutes, rechecked everything, vitals nil, reflexes gone, EEG flat. The heart settled and they proceeded. Ethan's heart saved a man in Ohio, beating strong in a new chest. But it left us shaken. Mia wouldn't look at me. Dr. Patel muttered, "I've never seen a heart fight like that." It wasn't medical, it was personal. Have you ever felt something so alive it scared you? Like a force bigger than science? That's what Ethan's heart was. A will to stay, to love, to live. I think of Lisa wearing his ring, raising their kid alone. Did she feel him that night too? Did his heart carry a piece of him to someone new? I don't know what to call it. A miracle? A curse? All I know is sometimes the body holds on when the mind lets go. Sometimes a heart remembers what it's leaving behind. And every time I see a transplant case, I wonder, what else does the body know that we don't? The ER is a crucible forging you in fire and blood. I'm Michael Hayes, a trauma nurse at City General with 22 years of scars and stories. Most nights you roll with the punches, stitches, codes, tears. But some nights fate deals a hand so wild you question everything you know. It was a chilly March night, rain slicking the roads. The ER hummed, flu season, a bar brawl, a kid with asthma. I was at the charge desk when the first call came at 7:10 p.m. Female, mid-20s, car wreck, head-on, unresponsive, ETA 4 minutes. We prepped trauma room 3. The stretcher rolled in, paramedic shouting. Emma Larson, 26, sedan hit a semi, coded once en route. Emma was a mess. Face bloodied, pelvis crushed, internal bleeding pooling fast. She wore a locket inscribed forever. We pushed blood, called the OR, fought like hell. But her pressure tanked. At 7:52 p.m. when we lost her. I called time of death, my voice steady, my heart heavy. Her locket gleamed under the lights, a promise broken. As we cleaned up, triage radioed. Another wreck. Female, same age, same name, Emma Larson, ETA 2 minutes. I froze. Same name? The clerk nodded. And get this, same birthday, April 22nd, 1998. My skin prickled. 2 Emmas, same name, same birth date, same night. What are the odds? The second Emma arrived at 7:54 p.m., a different crash, different car. She was black. Short braids, a faded scar on her cheek. Chest trauma, ribs snapped, airway closing. She was conscious, gasping, "She's waiting, she's waiting." I held her hand as we intubated. Her grip was fierce, eyes locked on mine. We worked fast, but her heart gave out. Massive arrest. 12 minutes of CPR, EPI, shocks, nothing. Time of death, 8:06 p.m., 14 minutes after the first Emma. We dug into their records. No connection. Different hometowns, no shared kin, no social media overlap. Just a cosmic fluke. 2 Emmas born the same day, dying the same night in my ER. Have you ever felt the universe nudge you like it's trying to say something? That's what this was. A riddle with no answer. The staff whispered later. "Doppelgangers," one said. "A glitch in the matrix," another joked. I didn't laugh. I stood outside Trauma Room 3 staring at the empty stretcher. Emma's words echoed. "She's waiting." Who was she? The other Emma? Death itself? I'll never know. Sometimes I drive past the crash sites marked by faded crosses. 2 lives, 2 Emmas gone in a blink. Was it chance? Fate? Or something bigger, weaving threads we can't see? Have you ever felt 2 moments collide like they were meant to? That's what this was. A collision of souls, leaving only questions in the wreckage. The ER is a pressure cooker, where you learn to keep cool when the world's on fire. I'm Lauren Brooks, a nurse at Harborview with 20 years of grit and grace. I've handled psych cases, traumas, you name it. But one night a stranger looked into my soul and saw something I couldn't. It was a frigid January night, the ER buzzing with flu cases and frostbite. Around 1 a.m., paramedics hauled in a guy, male, mid-40s, thrashing like a trapped animal. They found him in a strip mall lot, half-naked, screaming gibberish. "John Doe, no ID, quoting scripture backward," the medic said. "We figured drugs, meth, PCP, but his tox screen was clean, vitals solid, no trauma, no fever." He shouldn't have been a mess, but he was. I took point, used to psych holds. The room smelled of sweat and fear. John stopped cold when I walked in, eyes locking on mine. "Nurse Lauren," he said, clear as day. My blood froze. I'd never met him. No badge, no chart, no way he knew me. I brushed it off. Maybe he overheard my name. "Let's get you settled," I said, voice steady. Then he erupted, thrashing, eyes rolling, spitting phrases like, "God sees not, and evil deliver us," all reversed like a tape played backward. It wasn't babble. It was deliberate, chilling. We sedated him, but even under, his lips twitched, muttering. Just before he went out, he turned to me, eyes sharp. "You can't save her, Lauren. She's gone." My heart stuttered. I didn't know who her was, but his words landed like a punch. I kept working, charting, checking vitals, but his voice looped in my head. At 4 a.m., my phone rang. It was the nursing home. My sister Kate, 38, had died in her sleep, sudden cardiac arrest. She'd been fine that morning, laughing on FaceTime, no warning, just gone. I stood in the hall, phone limp, John's words choking me. "You can't save her." How did he know? Who was he? We ran his prints, nothing. No missing persons, no record. He went to a psych ward days later, silent as stone, staring at walls. Have you ever met someone who saw through you like they knew your fate? That's what John was, a mirror to my fear. I don't believe in prophets. I believe in vitals, labs, science. But every time a psych case says my name, my spine tingles. What did John carry? A gift? A curse? All I know is some truths cut deeper than a scalpel. And some nights I hear Kate's laugh and wonder if he saw her leaving before I did. The ER is a living thing, pulsing with stories no one tells. I'm David Nguyen, a nurse at Riverside Medical with 15 years in the trenches. Most days you focus on the now, vitals, meds, saving lives. But some rooms hold echoes, shadows that watch when no one else does. Trauma Room 5 was ordinary. Beige walls, scuffed floors, monitors that hum like a heartbeat. But over time it changed. A cold spot in the corner where no vent explained it. Call lights tripping when the room was empty. Patients staring at the same spot, eyes wide. We laughed it off. Nurses get superstitious. But laughter fades when the stories stack up. It started with Mrs. Evelyn Carter, 82, a firecracker with COPD and a smile that lit the room. She came in with pneumonia, weak but sharp. I liked her, called me kid like I was 20, not 40. One night I found her sitting up in room 5, staring at the corner. "He's there again," she said, voice soft. "The soldier." I glanced over. Empty chair, no one there. "Who's that, Evelyn?" I asked, humoring her. "The man in green," she said, hat in his lap, boots polished, he doesn't blink. Says I'll join him soon. Her eyes weren't scared, just tired. I checked her meds. Nothing to cause hallucinations. "Just the lights playing tricks," I said. She shook her head. "He's real, kid, been here all night." I logged it, chalked it up to fatigue. Evelyn rallied, but 3 days later her heart quit. I stayed as they wheeled her out. Glancing back, I swear I saw something, a shape in the corner, not solid, just a pressure in the air. My breath caught. Was it real? Have you ever seen something you couldn't name but felt it? After that, room 5 got weird. 6 patients unconnected saw him. A soldier, green fatigues, hat in hand, boots firm. A vet with CHF saluted the corner before he passed. A sepsis case, barely lucid, whispered, "Not yet, not yet." No veterans died in room 5. No visitors matched the description, just stories piling up. The staff split. Some avoided room 5, others scoffed. I started talking to him quiet-like, when alone. "Hey, soldier, watching over us?" No answer, but it felt right. If he's there, he's not cruel. Maybe he's waiting, making sure no one crosses alone. Have you ever felt a presence like someone's got your back even in the dark? I don't know who he is, a lost soul, a guardian. But in room 5, where monitors flatline and families weep, I feel him. The silence is heavy but not empty. And every time I check that corner, I wonder who's watching when the lights go out. And there you have it. 5 stories from the ER that'll stick with you like a shadow you can't shake. These aren't just tales. They're pieces of the nurses who lived them. Sarah, Rachel, Michael, Lauren, David. They've seen the edge of life and death, and sometimes something else peering back. Have you ever felt that edge yourself? A moment where the world felt off, like you brushed against something bigger? That's what these stories do. They pull you in, make you question, make you feel. The ER is more than a job. It's a crucible, forging bonds, breaking hearts, and sometimes leaving questions no science can answer. Jake's scream, Ethan's heart, the twin Emmas, John's prophecy, the soldier's vigil. They're not just stories, they're reminders that life, death, and whatever lies between are mysteries we're still unraveling. And isn't that why we're here? to chase the unknown, to feel the chill, to wonder. Thank you for diving into these with me. Your support, every like, comment, and subscribe, keeps these stories alive. You're not just viewers, you're part of this journey, sharing your own eerie moments in the comments, building a community that thrives on the thrill of the unknown. If these gave you goosebumps or kept you up thinking, hit that subscribe button. Share this with a friend who loves a good scare. Let's keep the chills coming. What's your story? Have you ever felt a presence, heard a sound, or seen something you can't explain? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone, and trust me, your tales fuel the next video. Stay tuned for more from the ER's darkest corners. Until then, keep the lights on and listen closely. You never know what's out there waiting to be heard. See you in the next one, if you dare.